Hey, what's up guys, Shuckle King here, bringing you my Week 5 Team Builder in battle for EWT against Obo. I've known Obo for a while, ever since I was in NCP, and he's a really funny guy, really cool guy. Definitely check out his channel. We're both 2-2, currently in the thick of the playoff race. I'm like borderline to make it or not right now, so if I get a win, I catapult my chances to make playoffs. If I lose, I dig myself a ditch. It's going to be pretty hard to get out of if I'm 2-3. Because again, it's only an 8-game season, which is pretty cool. It means the games matter more than normal. Before I get a little bit farther in the video, make sure if you guys like this to give a like and maybe give a sub. If you're not already, I greatly appreciate it. So his team, Obo's team, from most to least threatening would be Zygarde 50%, Mega Mawile, Rotom Wash, Reuniclus, Weezing, Aerodactyl, Infernape, Miltank, Marowak, Serena, and Clefairy. Now, Zygarde and Mega Mawile, oh boy, it's going to be pretty tough to figure out a combination that's going to make me not weak to both of them. When I faced John Jr., I was just making sure I had to figure out an answer for the Celesteela and the Charger to make sure they didn't sweep. And I'm kind of in the same boat that I had to make sure that Zygarde and Mega Mawile don't sweep. Now, I did give a hole for John Jr. in sub. Charizard X was able to beat through my Ferrothorn, so I have to try to be a little bit more careful and make sure I devise a game plan and make sure I just don't lose by getting swept by Zygarde or Mega Mawile, and I should be in decent shape. What's nice about Mega Mawile is it can't boost its speed, though if it does boost its attack with Swords Dance, it's going to be pretty hard to live any +2 hit, especially a +2 Sucker Punch, which is essentially like a speed boost in and of itself. Zygarde, I do struggle with ground types in general and offensive ground types, so Zygarde is definitely a threat there, especially with Z. Devastating Drake can hit my Mega Latios while he's not locked into Outrage, and if I bring my DNC predicting that, then he could just do a ton of damage with 1,000 arrows and probably kill me at +1, unless if I have a Shuck a Berry. So Zygarde is really threatening. Mega Mawile don't really have any switch-ins on my team. I definitely get 2 KO'd by everything, if not close to O-KO'd by a lot of moves by Mawile, depending if they have the coverage. Rotom Wash is just annoying in general because I don't have a grass type, so it's going to be annoying to wear it down, but it's not like it's going to be sweeping me or anything. Reuniclus, I have the Drapion as a dark type, so that's great, and my Mega Latios and Manaphy should be able to set up on it. Even my Mew could be a tall breaker, so I'm not as worried about Reuniclus, but it's definitely a threat. Weezing is a little bit annoying as just a physical defensive mon, but I do have Mega Latios and Mew to shut it down. Aerodactyl's fast, but doesn't hit terribly hard and doesn't have Z move access. Infernape is not as high on my list because I do have Mew, Mega Latios, and Manaphy and Dugtrio to trap it, so it's kind of hard for him to bring Infernape, but his Obo's team is pretty slow. Outside of the Aerodactyl and Infernape, he has nothing that's base 100 or faster, so my Mew is fairly fast this game, as well as my Mega Latios has beats everything except for an Aerodactyl, which is really nice. Miltank is special defensive, but I have ways to set up on it. Marowak is just pretty weak, even though I am weak to ground types. Serena, I just don't feel like is that good, and Clefairy is also very weak. And I don't really have a dragon type that it necessarily counters, just because Mega Latios can go for Psyshock and do a lot of damage, or Calm Mind, and then Moonblast aren't going to be doing anything. So my game plan was, again, to make sure Zygarde and Mawile don't sweep, and maybe set up with offensive pressure to make sure that the Zygarde doesn't even get a chance to get to +1, or the Mawile to get a Sword Stance up. So see here, the first Pokemon I have is Manaphy. Pretty standard set, Tail Glow, Surf, Ice Beam, Energy Ball. The special attack investment at +3 allows me to O-Code Mega Mawile, that's max HP from full with the Surf, and I would also kill a special defensive Rotom with Energy Ball. The speed allows me to add speed Rotom as well as Adamant Zygarde. He could bring Jolly Zygarde, but the only reason for him to really bring Jolly Zygarde would be to speed tie with my Drapion, and I doubt that would feel like that's worth it. So that's why I'm pretty comfortable with running enough speed to outspeed Adam and Zygarde, because I don't think he's going to bring Jolly. And the rest goes in the bulk. It would be nice to get the 200 HP for like an even number for the Eye-Papa Berry. It probably won't make a difference. Again, pretty standard stuff. Ice Beam will hit the Zygarde harder than a Surf, and it also hits the Serena. Next Pokemon I have is Mega EWT to Mega Latios, who's the kill leader right now, and hopefully I can get a couple kills in this matchup. With Psychic, Draco Meteor, Calm Mind, Roost. Now, I don't have a way to hit Mega Mawile with this set, and it's a little bit problematic, I would say. Again, because I'm saying I don't want to get set up on by Zygarde or the Mawile, but at least I do over half, or about half with a Psychic with Mega Latios, just because I am modest. Now, I am able to run modest just because my speed is 252, but it will add speed base 95s by 1. So if he does bring Jolly Zygarde, I will outspeed by 1 point, so that's pretty clutch. And the rest of it goes into my bulk. If I could set up a Calm Mind at +1, I'll be killing Special Defensive Miltank, Physically Defensive Reuniclus. It's going to be pretty problematic for him to deal with if I can get a Calm Mind up, so that'll definitely be my game plan. And he does not have a Dark type, which is also clutch. I mean, Mega Mawile still kind of shuts me down, but I have ways around it, like this next Pokemon here, which is a pretty cool Physically Defensive Darmanitan sub Will-O-Wisp Focus Punch Flare Blitz. So this is definitely a weird set for sure, and not much speed on it at all. What's nice about it is I should be, actually I won't be able to outspeed the Miltank just because of the little bit of speed that I have, but I will be able to get behind a Substitute, and if he's Seismic Toss, then he won't be able to break my sub, which is pretty cool. And then Will-O-Wisp to hit the Zygarde, it will hit the Mawile, because even with my speed investment, which is basically none, it's just to outspeed anything that's trying to speed creep a 0 speed Zygarde. So the Will-O-Wisp is there, will outspeed the Mawile and hit it with a Will-O-Wisp. If he gets like a Sword Stance up and he's at +2, he could just go for a Sucker Punch and kill me. So I can go for either a Substitute and get behind a sub, or a Will-O-Wisp as he goes for the Sucker Punch, and then even Substitute the following turn, predicting me to go for Flare Blitz at that point. So Darmanitan's pretty cool in that regard. I live a knockoff with my HP and defense investment from a Mawile. No, I won't get my Eye-Papa Berry, but I will live the hit. And then assumingly he goes for the Sucker Punch afterwards, I will be able to Will-O-Wisp, predicting him to go for the Sucker Punch. And hopefully I hit. The Eye-Papa Berry, though, if he goes for Iron Head or Play Rough, I will be able to activate it. I think the low roll is like a high 40s. So most rolls should be able to pop my Eye-Papa Berry and get me up to like 70-75%, which will be pretty nice. And that's after rocks are up. So there even is a small chance for me to live 2 Mega Mawile hits, though I would assume he gets rocks up at some point in this match, because I won't be bringing hazard removal. So hopefully this Darmanitan puts in work. I still 2-hit KO like the Reuniclus, which is just shows how strong Darmanitan is. Focus Punch is there to hit the Miltank harder if he's thick that. Next Pokemon I have is a more defensive answer for the Zygarde, because I don't have one yet. And now while Ferrothorn isn't a ground resist, I still take 1,000 Arrows really well. And I will take a +1 Z 1,000 Arrows pretty easily. Lead Seed and Toxic should prevent him from going for substitutes, but if he does like switch on to Ferrothorn before me going for an attack, and he does get a sub up, at least I can Hidden Power Ice and make sure that he doesn't get a free substitute up continuously. I learned my lesson from the Mega Charizard X, so he might be able to get the +1/+1, but he shouldn't be able to beat me if he's only at +1/+1. If he's at +2, then that might be problematic, but hopefully I put him in a position to where he won't be able to get the +2 that easily. Stealth Rocks just because it's important to get that chip. And Lead Seed will be able to hit the Mawile. But I don't have anything else hit the Mawile with this Ferrothorn, so I do have to be more careful around it. I feel like I have more precautions for the Zygarde than the Mawile, but like my Mega Latios still does 50% with Psychic, so really only the Ferrothorn is like 100% vulnerable to the Mawile. But again, hopefully I don't let that happen, and then again I can Lead Seed if he predicts goes into a Mawile if my Ferrothorn is out. Next Pokemon I have is Max Speed, Max Attack, Drapion. I think it's the first time I brought Drapion, which is kind of crazy. Hopefully I'll be able to bring in a couple more matches, but Taunt, Knockoff, Earthquake, Ice Fang. Earthquake will do about half to Mawile, even considering if he has Intimidate in its normal form before Mega evolves. So I might not be able to 2-hit KO, but it should be close. Ice Fang to hit the Zygarde for over half, unless he's like a really bulky set. And what's nice about it is if he has the Zygarde on my Drapion, I'm going to taunt. I don't expect him to be Jolly, so at worst, we speed tie. And if I can taunt him and prevent him go for a Coil or Dragon Dance, that'd be pretty clutch. And then I can Ice Fang and 2-hit KO while he does not 2-hit KO me with 1,000 Arrows or plus Extreme Speed, or 1,000 Arrows plus... Well, he could kill me with 2,000 Arrows if he's Jolly and we speed tie, but if he's Adamant and he goes for 1,000 Arrows plus Extreme Speed, he won't be able to kill because of my Shucka Berry. If he's Z Earthquake or Z 1,000 Arrows, that's a different story, but again, I do have a ways around it. I just gotta prevent him from getting up the speed. And Knockoff is there to hit the Reuniclus for something, and Taunt prevented from like PP stalling me in theory. The last Pokemon I have is Mew. I kind of threw Mew on as like the 6th Pokemon just to see what I was most weak to. Though I don't feel like I was necessarily as weak to Zygarde or Mawile anymore, I still want a little bit more of a reliable answer to Mawile, like Ferrothorn is a reliable answer to the Zygarde. So I have Colbur Berry, Earth Power, Will-O-Wisp, Soft Boil, basically all to handle that Mega Mawile, and also handles the Infernape to an extent too, which I've been somewhat ignoring just because like my Mega Latios doesn't outspeed Infernape, so that could be problematic. I have nothing to outspeed the Infernape on my team, so that could get a little bit annoying, but I have enough bulk that it should be okay. Ice Beam obviously hits the Zygarde for like 80-ish plus %, but I won't go for the Ice Beam probably right away in the off chance that he is a weakness policy set, so I will just go for the Will-O-Wisp and just pray that I hit. Earth Power will do over half the Mawile, and because I have the Colbur Berry, I'm not afraid about a Sucker Punch or a Knockoff. And I would be going for the Will-O-Wisp before the Earth Power anyway on the Mawile. So that's my team. Let's get right into the game. Alright, here we are for the game against Obo, and as we can see here, he does not bring the Infernape, which is definitely nice. He also doesn't bring the Rotom Wash, which is definitely an annoying pivot. So right off the bat, Manaphy looks really nice in this matchup, and I feel like I should just lead with it, because the only problematic lead for him would be the Serena. And I do have Darmanitan, Ferrothorn, and Drapion to handle it. Latios looks also really good in this matchup, as long as the Mawile is weakened. I feel like that also just wins. Darmanitan looks pretty useful. He has a lot of physical attackers in this game. Ferrothorn should be able to get up rocks, but his team's not terribly weak to rocks outside of the Aerodactyl, so it's not as useful. And Mew should be a pretty safe pivot throughout this entire match. And with Drapion, hopefully it could fill the work of just somewhat surprising the Mawile and the Zygarde. So I'm going to lead with Water, the Manaphy, as I said before, and he leads with Spyro, which is the Aerodactyl. So I feel pretty safe just going for a Surf here. He doesn't have sorry about that, he doesn't have a great switch in right now. He has a Nerve, which is a little unfortunate that I might not be able to pop my eye Papa Berry, especially if he's Choice Banded, it might activate it. But based on that damage, he's only Adamant, and that's it. I don't think he's a boosting item, or Jolly and maybe like a rock boosting item. So I just kill with Surf on turn 1. And Aerodactyl wasn't the most threatening thing, but it's the only thing that outspeeds my Manaphy. So Manaphy is going to really go in at this point. So here comes the Serena is the next thing, and I can't do much to it at all. So I have to switch out, and I don't want to go into Pharaoh because if he goes into Mawile, then that's pretty problematic. So I'm going to go into my Drapion, which handles the Serena, plus the Mawile, plus the Zygarde, because it can taunt the Zygarde, and it can Earthquake the Mawile, and he brings in a Reuniclus, predicting me to go into Pharaoh, which is great. So I could just go for the Earthquake right here, which is really safe, predicting him to go into Mawile as he does that, which is great for me. He gets the Intimidate off, so I still should be able to 2-hit KO. I do a little bit over 50% if he's max HP, but because I am Sniper, I get a crit and I kill. I wouldn't be able to kill, I believe, without the crit if I didn't have Sniper, but that definitely helps a lot, and it puts him in the really far behind. So he brings in a Zygarde here, and I'm going to taunt him to make sure he does not set up a Dragon Dance in my face. If he speed ties and wins that and gets a Dragon Dance off, then that's unfortunate, but at least I can live any one Earthquake, and my Mew can also live a hit. So I wouldn't have been the worst of cases. So he could be not Jolly, or I just got the speed roll worked out in my favor. So he's going to just go for the 1,000 arrows here. And based on the damage that he does, it shows that he is adamant, even though that does like only 25%. It's great how bulky Mew is. And I could Roost here, predicting him to go for the Z move. I was predicting Z Ground, but he goes for the Z Dragon, which makes sense to hit my Mega Latios after a Dragon Dance. And roost it off and be okay, but the taunt would be off, and I feel like it would just be a little bit of a nuisance. So I'm going to just go for the Will-O-Wisp and give myself essentially 2 opportunities to sweep, to prevent him from sweeping, because if I miss a Will-O-Wisp here, then he either has to go for the kill and I can revenge kill the Zygarde, or he would get a Dragon Ant and hope I miss a second burn. So I do get the burn here, which is great. And I want to preserve my differential and also maybe preserve the Mew later on in the match. So I'm going to go into my Manaphy. I should be able to take 2 hits from this range I calced. And I'll have to activate my Papa Berry to go for the Dragon Dance, which is definitely okay with me. He won't be able to kill me in any one move. So I'm going to just go for the Tail Glow. I'm not too worried, and if he stays in and gets to +2, I should be able to live any 1 hit after that. But I'm going to go safe and just go for the Ice Beam, which would have killed the Zygarde from that range. There's no point, I guess, messing with it, so that was definitely a good call there. I am going to Tail Glow on his Reuniclus, assuming that he won't be able to kill me. Based on that damage before, it was just a max HP, non-max HP, max special defense. But as we can see here, he does a ton with Focus Blast, and he almost kills me. He actually got a middle roll because he is a max HP, max special attack, Life Orb variant of Reuniclus. So if he got a high roll, he would have killed me, which would have been unfortunate, but I do have the Drapion. It still does really well at this point, but I have a +3 Manaphy at about 50% health, so it's going to be pretty hard for him to revenge kill it. So he's going to sack off his Zygarde, which is definitely a good play. And I'm bringing a Serena, and I'm predicting him to be Scarfed and go for the U-turn and just over-predicting. So I'm going to stay in here, just go for the Ice Beam, and I see that I am faster, so he definitely is not Scarfed, but I don't kill because he's probably like a max HP plus Assault Fist combination of Serena, so he is able to live that hit, and even after Roxy would live that hit, which is a pretty cool Serena set. And he kills my Manaphy, which is not a problem at all, because I can bring in my Latios that has not even seen the field this match, and it should be pretty hard for him to deal with. So I have a pretty safe opportunity to go for a Psychic here. I could, I guess, try to set up Calm Mind on this Serena, but I'd rather just get the kill. If he gets like a knockoff crit or something, it would be annoying, or if he crits with U-turn, then it limits my longevity. Though I do kill the Reuniclus with Draco Meteor at +1. If he crit me with U-turn and then goes for a Shadow Bulb as I miss a Draco, then that would be pretty problematic. So I'm going to save my Latios just in case and go to my Drapion. But he makes a double switch, which I thought was weird. Maybe he was wanting to get the Draco Meteor drop on the Marowak and sacking it off. But I'm going to go for the knockoff here, knowing I can live an Earthquake and or a Boomerang. Even if the Boomerang only activates my Shuckle once, I should be able to live it. Especially because I knock off the Thick Club of the Marowak. So this Earthquake does nothing, even after the Shuckle Berry that wouldn't have killed, which just shows how weak Marowak is without the Thick Club. And I'm going to switch out into my Mega Latios, because based on the damage I did to him, I know he's actually max HP and basically max defense, which is definitely a weird Marowak set. I'm not really sure what that was for. Maybe to take on the Dormanitan and the Dugtrio a little bit better. But regardless, at this point, I feel like I'm comfortable to set up a Calm Mind, and he shouldn't be able to kill me with any hit, unless if he even if he crits with Shadow Ball or Signal Beam, I should be able to live. And if he gets a Confusion with Signal Beam, then that would be annoying, but I would be able to just switch out otherwise. So I do live. Draco Meteor will kill if I connect, and I do connect. Even if I missed, I still would have lived one more hit. And then he only has left is the Marowak, and I am able to kill that off with another Draco Meteor. If I missed a Draco Meteor here, then I could have switched out. Like, it wouldn't have been that big of an issue, or even roosted up, because a knockoff wouldn't have killed from the Marowak, just because, again, without the Thick Club, this Marowak can't really do any damage. So that's the game against Obo. Good game, man. I guess I really just threw him for a whack when I killed the Aerodactyl turn 1. And then he lost like his biggest threat, or one of his 2 biggest threats, Mega Mawile, by turn 3. So it put him really far behind. He probably couldn't have won at that point. He just had to hope he got an opportunity to Dragon Dance with the Zygarde, but I was just making sure that wouldn't happen at all. Once the Mawile was down, I was able to expend a little bit more resources to make sure the Zygarde didn't sweep. But again, check out Obo's channel. He's 2-3, but if he wins out, he should have a decent chance to make playoffs. But it's a pretty crazy playoff race out there right now, with all the teams at 4-1 and 3-2. So it's gonna be a fight to the finish, and I'm still making the playoffs at this point, but I could easily lose playoffs if I lose like 1 or 2 games. So I have to watch out for that. But until next time, later, guys.